There was a woman named Laura who lived in a quiet suburb outside Seattle, a place where mornings arrived softly with pale gray light, and the sound of distant traffic felt more like a hum than a disturbance. From the outside, her life looked stable, even settled. She had a decent job that paid the bills on time, co-workers who respected her, and a small but comfortable apartment where everything had its place. Her kitchen counter was usually clean, her clothes neatly folded, her calendar organized weeks in advance. To anyone watching from a distance, it looked like she had figured things out, like she was doing exactly what a responsible, grown adult was supposed to do. But inside, Laura felt restless in a way she could never fully explain to anyone. It wasn't loud or dramatic. It was quiet, constant, and exhausting. It sat with her when she woke up in the morning and followed her to bed at night. Some days, she would stand by her window with a cup of coffee growing cold in her hands, staring at the cloudy sky, feeling an odd heaviness in her chest without knowing why. She would think, is this it? Is this how it's supposed to feel? And then she'd feel guilty for even asking that question, because technically, nothing was wrong. No matter what she achieved, it never felt like enough. When she did well at work, the satisfaction faded almost immediately, replaced by a quiet voice inside her that said she could have done more. When she paid her bills on time or saved a little extra money, instead of feeling proud, she felt anxious about what might go wrong next. Even on calm evenings, sitting on her couch with the lights dimmed and her phone resting face down beside her, there was a sense that something was missing. She couldn't name it, couldn't point to it, but she felt it deeply. Laura often compared herself to others without meaning to. She would scroll through photos online or overhear conversations and wonder how everyone else seemed so sure of their direction. She questioned her choices late at night, replaying moments in her head, wondering if she had taken a wrong turn somewhere along the way. Sometimes she felt tired not because she was physically exhausted, but because her mind never truly rested. It was always searching, always wanting more clarity, more meaning, more reassurance. Outwardly, she smiled, nodded, and kept moving forward like everyone else. Inwardly, she carried a quiet dissatisfaction that made even peaceful moments feel incomplete. Her life was stable, yes, but her heart didn't feel settled. And that feeling, the constant sense that whatever she had was never quite enough, stayed with her like a shadow she couldn't step away from, no matter how hard she tried. Every single morning, she opened her eyes with a sense of irritation already sitting heavy inside her chest, as if frustration had become her natural state. Even before getting out of bed, her mind would start running. Today will be exhausting. Nothing ever goes right. Why is life like this for me? While getting ready, small things bothered her more than they should have. If the traffic was heavy, she complained non-stop, gripping the steering wheel, blaming the roads, the people, the city, feeling personally attacked by the delay. At work, if the pressure increased even a little, she felt overwhelmed, muttering to herself that life was unfair, that she was doing so much yet getting so little in return. When she heard someone else had been promoted, instead of feeling happy for them, a quiet bitterness rose inside her. Why not me? What am I lacking? When will my turn come? Her thoughts were constantly trapped in what she didn't have. A better salary that would finally make her feel secure. A bigger home that would prove she had succeeded. A more exciting life that would make others look at her with envy. Whatever she had in the present never felt enough, never felt worthy of appreciation. Even during moments of rest, her mind refused to be calm. It kept comparing, calculating, complaining, as if peace was something forbidden for now. Deep down, she truly believed happiness was not meant for today. Happiness, she thought, was a reward waiting somewhere in the future, something she would earn only after everything became perfect. Until then, she carried this silent dissatisfaction with her everywhere, unaware that it was slowly shaping the way she lived, thought, and felt every single day. One winter evening, as the sky turned heavy and gray much earlier than usual, Laura sat at her desk, staring at her computer screen without really seeing anything on it. Her office felt colder than normal, not because the heater wasn't working, but because of the weight she was carrying inside. Emails kept popping up, deadlines pressed in from every side. And then the notification came in about volunteering at a community center that served struggling families. She leaned back in her chair and let out a slow breath. Honestly, she almost skipped it. That day had drained her completely. Nothing had gone right. A meeting had fallen apart, a client had been rude, and a quiet sense of disappointment had followed her all afternoon. Gratitude felt like a word meant for someone else, someone whose life was smoother, lighter, more in control. She didn't feel thankful for her job, her routine, or even the small comforts around her. She just felt tired, emotionally and mentally, the kind of tired that doesn't go away with rest. As she packed up her things, her coat felt heavier than usual in her hands. She told herself she deserved to go straight home, curl up in silence, and shut the world out for a while. No one would notice if she didn't show up. No one would question it. Yet, as she stood there for a moment, keys dangling from her fingers, something subtle stirred inside her. Not excitement, not obligation, but a quiet inner nudge she couldn't explain. It wasn't loud or dramatic, just a soft voice reminding her that staying away wouldn't make the heaviness disappear. She paused, feeling conflicted, almost annoyed at herself for hesitating. Then she sighed, slipped on her coat, and decided to go anyway, not because she felt grateful, but because something deep inside her whispered that this evening might matter more than she realized. The center was old and modest, the kind of place that didn't try to hide its age. The walls carried layers of faded paint, once bright but now dulled by time, with small cracks running through them like quiet reminders of all the years that had passed. The air inside felt heavy and cold, and the heater in the corner struggled to do its job, releasing weak bursts of warmth that never quite reached everyone. Laura could feel the chills settle into her fingers as she helped serve meals, her breath faintly visible when she exhaled. The room was filled with soft, tired sounds, chairs scraping the floor, spoons tapping against bowls, low murmurs of people speaking without much energy. As she walked slowly between the tables, balancing trays and offering polite smiles, her eyes landed on a young boy sitting alone. He was unusually quiet, not fidgeting or looking around like most children would. He sat still, shoulders slightly hunched, holding his bowl with both hands as if it were something fragile and deeply important. His fingers wrapped around it tightly, not because it was hot, but as if he was afraid it might disappear if he let go. His gaze stayed fixed on the food, serious and focused, with an expression far older than his age. In that simple moment, there was something about the way he held that bowl that spoke without words, a mix of gratitude, hunger, and a silent understanding of how valuable even a small meal could be. She smiled at him. Not the polite kind of smile people give out of habit, but a slow, warm smile that came from somewhere deeper, the kind that softens the eyes before it reaches the lips. In a gentle voice, almost careful not to break the moment, she asked, "Are you enjoying the food?" The boy nodded quickly, as if the answer was obvious. His small hands wrapped around the warm plate in front of him. "Yes, ma'am," he said, his voice carrying a quiet excitement. Then, after a short pause, he added honestly, "My mom cooked yesterday, so today feels special." There was no complaint in his words, no sadness, just a simple statement of fact, spoken the way children speak when they don't yet know how to hide their truth. Laura paused at that. Her hand hovered in the air for a second, her mind catching on that single word, special. She looked at him more closely now, noticing the way his jacket was slightly too thin for the cold, the way his shoes were scuffed at the edges, the way he still sat straight, grateful, present. Softly, she asked, "Why is today special?" The boy looked up at her, his eyes clear and steady. He didn't think long, didn't search for a better answer. He simply said what he felt. because we're together and we're warm." His voice was calm, almost casual, as if togetherness and warmth were the greatest gifts one could ask for, as if nothing else really mattered. Those words stayed with her. They didn't rush through her mind and disappear. They settled quietly in her chest, heavy and gentle at the same time. Long after the boy went back to eating, Laura found herself thinking about how little it took for him to feel rich, how easily she overlooked things she once prayed for. Later that evening, Laura met the boy's mother. She stood there with a tired posture, the kind that comes from carrying too much for too long. Her shoes were worn out, the soles uneven, as if they had walked many difficult paths together. Yet her face held a constant smile, not loud or dramatic, but steady, practiced, and sincere.
The kind of smile someone wears to keep going. Laura asked her how things were going, expecting a long explanation, maybe even frustration. The woman only shrugged gently, as if she didn't want to burden anyone with her reality. In a soft, accepting voice, she said, "Life's hard, but we still have each other." She paused for a brief second, then added with quiet conviction, "That's enough for today." There was no bitterness in her words, no self-pity, just acceptance, resilience, and a deep love that didn't need to be explained. On the drive home, Laura felt something heavy settle in her chest, not sharp enough to hurt, but deep enough to make her quiet. The road lights passed by one after another, and with every mile her thoughts grew slower, heavier. She imagined opening the door to her apartment, the familiar click of the lock, the soft hum of silence inside, the comfort of knowing no one would disturb her. That warmth, that safety had always been there, waiting for her, yet she realized how rarely she paused to feel grateful for it. Her mind drifted to her refrigerator, usually full, stocked without much thought. Food she ate casually, sometimes wasted, sometimes complained about, never once considering what it meant to have it there whenever she wanted. She felt a tightness in her throat as she thought about her body, her health, waking up each morning without pain, walking without effort, breathing without fear. These were blessings she had treated like background noise, invisible because they were constant. Her freedom came to her next. The ability to choose where to go, what to do, who to be, something she had never questioned, never truly honored. Opportunities she once chased were now quietly present in her life, and she had stopped seeing them for what they were. As the car moved forward, a quiet realization washed over her. Nothing dramatic, no sudden tears, just a deep, humbling awareness that so much of her life was rich, stable, and kind to her. And she had been living inside it without really looking. That night she couldn't sleep. Not the kind of sleeplessness where you toss around checking the clock again and again, but the kind where your body is tired and your mind just refuses to slow down. Laura lay there staring at the ceiling, the room quiet, almost too quiet. Every small sound felt louder than usual. The faint hum of the fan, the distant noise of a car passing by, her own breathing. Her eyes were open, but her thoughts were wide awake, moving in circles she couldn't control. For the first time in years, there was no phone in her hand, no scrolling, no distraction. Just her thoughts, and a strange heaviness in her chest she couldn't name properly. She thought about her day, then her week, then her life, about all the things she had chased so desperately. The goals, the plans, the constant, "Once I get this, then I'll be happy." And suddenly, without forcing it, a simple question rose in her mind, quiet but powerful, almost uncomfortable in its honesty. What if happiness isn't about getting more, but about noticing what's already here? The question stayed with her. It didn't rush away like other thoughts usually did. It sat there, making her feel exposed, like someone had gently held up a mirror she had avoided looking into for years. She felt a tightness in her throat, not sadness exactly, but something close to it, regret mixed with realization. She wondered how many moments she had lived through without really being present. How many mornings she woke up already wanting something else. How many nights she went to sleep feeling empty even though her life looked complete from the outside. As she lay there, she noticed small things she normally ignored. The warmth of the blanket, the safety of her room, The fact that she was breathing, alive, here. It felt strange, almost emotional, to acknowledge these simple truths. Her eyes grew heavy, not from sleep, but from the weight of understanding something she had never allowed herself to consider. A quiet thought followed, softer than the first, but deeper. Maybe I've been running past my own life. Her heart felt calm and unsettled at the same time. Calm because the question felt true in a way she couldn't explain. Unsettled because it challenged everything she believed happiness was supposed to be. That night, in the darkness, with no one watching, Laura wasn't trying to fix her life or plan her future. She was just feeling, thinking, noticing, and for the first time in a very long time, that felt real. The next morning, she tried something different. Instead of waking up with that familiar rush in her chest and instinctively grabbing her phone, she let her hand rest on the bedsheet for a moment, almost as if she was reminding herself that there was no hurry. She got up slowly, made her coffee, and sat there in silence. The warm cup held gently between her palms. The heat seeped into her hands, steady and comforting, like a quiet reassurance. She noticed how the sunlight slipped through the window in soft lines, touching the floor, the wall, her face not loud or demanding, just present. She became aware of her breath without forcing it, the gentle rise and fall, the way each inhale felt slightly cool and each exhale felt warm and releasing. In that stillness, her mind didn't stop completely, but it softened. Thoughts came and went without pulling her away. She felt the calm of the early morning, the kind of calm that doesn't announce itself, but slowly settles inside, easing the tightness she didn't even realize she carried. For the first time in a long while, she wasn't reacting to the day ahead or replaying yesterday in her head. She was simply there, sitting with her coffee, with herself, feeling a quiet sense of peace that felt surprisingly real and deeply human. It felt small, almost insignificant if someone from the outside were to look at it. Nothing dramatic had changed. There was no sudden success, no big announcement, no moment where the world stopped and applauded her. And yet inside her, it felt real in a way nothing else had before. It was the kind of feeling that didn't shout, it whispered. A quiet sense of honesty settled in her chest, as if for the first time she wasn't pretending to be okay. She actually was. Over the next weeks, Laura slowly began to shift her focus, not because she forced herself to, but because her mind was tired of running in the same exhausting circles. She stopped measuring her life by what others had, stopped opening her phone just to compare milestones, achievements, and happiness that always seemed louder and brighter than her own. She realized how heavy that habit had been, how it drained her without her even noticing. Letting it go wasn't instant, but each day it loosened its grip a little more. She started appreciating small moments, the kind she used to overlook without a second thought. A quiet walk where her thoughts finally slowed down and the noise inside her head softened. A warm meal that didn't just fill her stomach, but gave her a sense of comfort, reminding her that she was being taken care of, even if only by herself. Simple conversations that didn't need to be deep or impressive, just honest, where she could listen and speak without feeling the need to prove anything. At night, when she lay down to sleep, she noticed how different it felt. Not perfect, not completely peaceful, but calmer. A good night's sleep no longer felt like an escape from the day, but a gentle closing of it. In those quiet hours, she understood something she had missed for a long time. Her life didn't need to look big to feel meaningful. These moments were small, yes, but they were hers. And for the first time in a long while, that was enough. Her problems didn't disappear, not even a little. Work was still demanding in the same exhausting way, with deadlines that pressed on her chest and responsibilities that followed her home in silence. Life remained unpredictable, throwing small shocks when she least expected them, reminding her that nothing was fully under her control. Some mornings she still woke up tired before the day even began, still felt that familiar heaviness while getting ready, still questioned how she would manage everything again. But somewhere deep inside, something quietly shifted. Gratitude began to change the way she carried her struggles. It softened the sharp edges of her stress, like a gentle hand placed over a wound that still hurt, but no longer burned the same way. She started noticing small things in between the chaos. A calm breath after a long sigh. A moment of relief when the day didn't completely fall apart. The simple fact that she was still standing, despite feeling worn out. Gratitude didn't magically erase her pain or make her problems smaller, and she knew that clearly. She still felt overwhelmed, still had days when she wanted to give up, still cried when no one was watching. Yet gratitude gave her strength in a quiet, human way. It reminded her that even while struggling, she had survived every difficult day before this one. It gave her the courage to keep moving forward, not because life became easy, but because she became a little stronger, a little more patient with herself, and a little more capable of facing whatever came next. Months later, Laura returned to the community center. The same boy recognized her and smiled. This time she felt different. She wasn't there out of obligation. She was there out of appreciation for life, for connection, for perspective. Laura realized something powerful. When you stop chasing what you don't have, you finally make space to enjoy what you do. Her life didn't become perfect, but it became peaceful, and peace, she learned, was the richest form of wealth. Thanks for spending your time here. If you felt a shift, even a small one, hit that like button and join our growing community by subscribing.